Hello and welcome to 15-Minute Gamer. My name is Tony and this is Beat Cop, and welcome to another episode of Is It Worth It? Now, this game is just over £11 on Steam. It's developed by Pixel Crow and it is available now. So I've just finished doing a let's play of this game. I've done around about 6 episodes. You can see that on the channel now. They'll be going up during the next week or so. When describing this game, it's kind of easier to think of it Papers, Please mixed with Police Quest mixed with Cookie Clicker. Now I'm going to try and explain each one of them points and you'll kind of see where I'm coming from, I hope. Anyway, Papers, Please was one of them games which made you make moral decisions. You had an end goal, you had a job to do, you had a family to support, and some of the decisions you made impacted them. You look at bribes and would you go down that route. This is much the same. You do have a goal, which I'm going to cover later on, and people will offer you money if you give them a ticket. They might say, look, will you just take $50 to forget about it? The gangs will offer you money to maybe not watch them do something or turn a blind eye or something like that. And also, you're trying to raise money because you do need money. You need money to buy food. And also, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it is at one point, it gives you 2 weeks and says, look, you can actually get away to Mexico and get off this beat. So there is a reason why you might want to be corrupt, because you only get paid $50 a day as a police officer on this game. You do get money for doing extra tickets and stuff, but generally the money isn't going to quite cover, and people expect money in return for stuff, so giving you information or helping you out of a situation. So that's what you got to think of on that side of things with Pay to Please. It's up to you. You're trying to be straight, but trust me, it gets a little bit difficult sometimes, and you think I could do with that extra $100 or whatever. I suppose I referenced Police Quest in there because it's got that graphical style to it. I don't know if anyone watching this did play Police Quest. I've played them all. I did really enjoy them back in the day. Very hard, but they were kind of, well, the first one was a type and click adventure. I suppose the best way to put it, you actually type in like open door, drink coffee and stuff. It was a very strange way of playing it, but it was back in the really old days, and then it went from there. This game is very much like in that vein of solving crimes. You're a police officer and that, so that's why I reference in that. And it's also got that look and feel of a Police Quest game around it, especially the little animations and stuff are very reminiscent of that. And Cookie Clicker, because you click a hell of a lot. You move by clicking. You get through the conversation by clicking. I mean, it does move on, but it's just easier to click sometimes. You'll be clicking on cars. You'll be clicking on what you want to do in the car. Do you want to search it? Do you want to do the lights? Do you want to have a look at the tyres? You click a hell of a lot on this game. And that is, it's not one of my bugbears, but sometimes you just be clicking because you're trying to move from one end of the map to the other, and a dialogue box will appear, and you'll skip it because you just click, 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 click. And sometimes it's muscle memory that you're just clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. And sometimes I wish there was maybe just a little thing to saying, okay, you're going to enter a conversation now, or you can take a radio. Are you sure you want to stop clicking or something like that? I don't know how to implement that. But there has been sometimes where I've missed conversations, missed parts of the story, missed something important because I've been clicking elsewhere, doing something else, and not realised. So yeah, I would maybe, that's the only thing with the cookie, you're clicking a hell of a lot on this game, so be prepared for that. But that's how you navigate around and do everything in the game. So just to cover the story a little bit, basically you're a detective, you're framed for a crime you didn't commit, and you are sent back to be a beat cop. You have 21 days, I think it is, to clear your name. People will come in and help you, offer you support. You can also run away, as I said earlier, to Mexico. You have to patrol this area, you'll get jobs to go to, you'll have to ticket cars, you have to reach quarters, you have to check lights, you have to check tyres, you have to check parking meters and that sort of thing. So you get the mundane activities of being a police officer, as in doing all the ticketing and stuff like that, patrolling this one street. That's what you look after, this one street. But on top of that, you'll also be responding to murders, homicides, robberies, thefts, and all sorts of other things that do crop up as you go along. And also on top of that, you will have the gangs asking you to do stuff. So you may get the mafia gang, who are the main gang on the game, who may say to you, right, okay, will you go and find this for me? Will you do this? Will you clear the parking spots outside of the restaurant because we'll have someone coming over? However, if you issue a ticket falsely and do that sort of thing and help the mafia out, your police chief will be on your neck for offering false tickets and giving them out. So you gotta balance that corruption, balance the jobs you want to do, and balance that against your police. And also you have the blacks in the game, which are called the crew, and that's what they're called in the game. And they will offer you jobs mainly to do with drug dealing and theft, and they might say, look, we'll give you $100 if you just ignore all thefts for this day. And it's kind of up to you to see if you're going to do that, and that's where that Papers, Please comes in, because $100 is nice in the game, would help you a lot. But do you want to lose the respect of the community, and do you want to get turned off by your boss when you get back to the office? So it's that kind of, you're always... And that's where I struggled quite a bit of where to balance it. Like, sometimes I was like, I really need to do this. But then I'm in 2 or 3 minds. I'm like, but if I do that, I'm going to do that. And, you know, it's that decisions. And I'm no good at that because I'm very black and white when it comes to decisions. So I'm just like, no, I want to be a good cop. But then also the game is kind of pushing you towards not being a good cop sometimes. And the dialogue's very geared towards you not being a good cop. It's very sweary, very shouty, very obnoxious in a lot of it as well. Like, you'll just go into a conversation with someone and it's very obnoxious in how the conversation goes. He's very rude, the copper, to people and stuff like that. I found it a little bit weird. Like, I would have found it maybe better if there was some sort of choice where you being a nice cop or a horrible cop. And if maybe before you enter the conversation, could you choose which one you want to be in that one? So say if you were talking to the mafia, you might want to be really good. If you're speaking to someone you don't like. And sometimes some of the conversations, I was a bit like, why are you being such a dick to them? Like, there's no need. I wouldn't act like that. So yeah, that's your street, that's your beat, and that's the storyline basically. And each day gives you the quarter of tickets or something to achieve, escort someone around, look after someone, keep the street clear. But then you'll also have all these other side jobs going on as you do it as well. And the side jobs are very, very different. Like, I'm not, again, don't spoil too much, but, you know, I got called into an apartment block and some crazy woman asked me to do a shopping for me, and I had to go and decide if I was going to do it. And also, you know, like, when you come around and people will just say, hey, would you go and get a delivery for me or whatever. You can also play cards. You can get hookers. You can buy drugs. So you can actually become very corrupt in it. You don't have to look after this one beat area. I was staying more towards the good side, or at least trying, and I was helping the mafia out. And something happened in the game which I wasn't expecting, where, because I lost so much like credibility with the crew, which are the black gang in the game, they had me killed, believe it or not. I was not expecting it at all. I was just playing, I was like, stuff you. And then I got killed by them. I'm not going to say how. You'll have to watch the... Actually, that's not including the Let's Play. Actually, that's not. I stopped it before that happened. So, yeah, it can go down that, and there is that arc and storyline, and, you know, it's your actions will impact how the game plays out, and that was a really good feature. I wasn't expecting that. So that's kind of the gameplay, that's the storyline, and yes, I enjoyed both of them as it went through. Looking at the graphics, it's that 8-bit style. It is really well done, it's very good, and even though it looks simple, there is them graphic things going on, like pigeons will poo and around it, and there's little cats walking around and birds flying and helicopters, and the cars are cool when they move around. So yeah, I do dig the art style, and also the music is really good as well. Like, there's some good 80s music on there, and when you start the game up, there's a really cool 80s beat running through it. There's a really nice intro sequence as well. It actually got me really involved in the game straight away. So I like that style which they've went for as well. It is simplistic, I guess, in a lot of ways, but it also suits the game down to the ground as well, the tone they're going for. Even though the tone can be a little bit serious, and there is certain things I don't like about it, because it's trying to portray 80s New York, it is very, very racist in parts, and that attitude around there's a lot of racism on both sides going on, and sometimes it was a little bit over the top, and I was like, I don't know if I feel too comfortable with this. So yeah, there was that as well. Some of the other things I didn't really like, or, you know, a little bit on the negative side, was just that the game can get very repetitive. I found myself, I'm about 3-4 hours in at the moment, and, you know, the conversations are repeating themselves. The things people say are repeating themselves. Yes, I know it's trying to show the mundaneness of the police work as well, but that can get very boring. Do 15 tickets. Here we go, here's another ticket, another ticket, another ticket, another ticket. You gotta wait till he goes around the vehicle, blah, blah, blah. And then if someone tries to bribe you, they say the exact same things. When you go in the shops, it generally says the exact same things. When you go to the hot dog seller, it says the exact same thing. So I was a bit like, it's getting a little bit repetitive now, and I like games really have to hold me. Each day lasts around about 15-20 minutes, so at least the day is not too long. Basically, you start your shift at around about 8-9 o'clock, and you have to finish it by 6. There's a little clock in the bottom left-hand corner that does it. You have handcuffs, so basically if you run up to someone and they're on the run, you press the handcuffs beside them, it will arrest them. You also have a gun. The shooting mechanic's very simplistic. Basically, you get a target on the screen, you just press the gun and it'll shoot them. You have your ticket book, which basically marks down all your tasks. It's like a task list and shows you what to do, show you what to look out for. And you also have a radio so you can call tow trucks, because you'll be doing a lot of towing, and if they're in a no parking zone, you have to tow them. And if they're blocking a fire hydrant, you should be towing them as well. So yes, it can get a little bit repetitive, and this is why they've put this storyline in, and this is why they've got the random events during the day just to kind of keep it going. But sometimes you could be sitting there for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes just going, I'm kind of bored now, there's nothing to do, and there's no way to skip the time or anything like that. So I just wish there was sometimes a little bit more to do in each day, maybe a little bit more action, maybe a different block to visit, maybe a different area, maybe a little bit more on that side of things. So yeah, I think that's kind of everything. So the main question, is it worth it? It's $11.99 on Steam. I can't quite recommend it. I think for what it is, I got a little bit bored with it. It's a very interesting premise. It's probably one of them games you might play a day, put down, go back a week later, play another day, that sort of thing. A mobile game, this would actually be really good as a mobile game. I was thinking when I was playing that, I was like, ooh, on my iPad, this would be really good. It does have good art style, it does have good sound, it just doesn't have quite enough to keep you engaged for the full time, or it didn't for me anyway, and I'm kind of caring about it. I just don't have the want to keep going and playing it. As I said, I'll probably play it again on the weekend, and then the weekend after that. So, if it's a little bit cheaper in a sale, go and pick it up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If I get around to completing it, I will do a full review on it, and I'll talk a lot more about it. However, as it's just sort of an impressions video, it's just what I think about the game and how I feel about the game, and should you go and pick it up. So I think it's one of them games, watch me let's play if it's your kind of thing. Just bearing in mind, I did play another 2 or 3 days after that, and nothing else really happened. Yeah, the odd little bit of an event, but not too much. So it's kind of up to you, but kind of on the fence with this one. It didn't blow me away. It also didn't disappoint me too much. It's just one of them games, I suppose. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will catch you all later. Goodbye.